Uh, we back with another one. Start this thing up again. Uh, so I'm going over these things. Let me give a shout out to everybody who we've been watching on TikTok. And if you want to follow the person that you hear that you feel like is spitting, they name will be always right up here in the corner for you to see it. So you can see who is speaking. You don't have to ask. You can see it, but as I dive deeper into this, like I said, I've been hiding under a psychedelic rock for 5 years, and this should be far out. I'm starting to see that no, like, no matter what we do, I keep saying this. I hate that I have to keep stressing this. That no matter what we do, it seems like as if everything is made to go against us. It's made to go against our beliefs, what we feel, what we want, what we like. What's up with it, Paco? Pac? What's up with it, Pac? But it's made to go against us and be against us. Like even like at times our own, and that's what I'm starting to see because, when it comes to things like I like to see both sides. I like to hear both sides. I don't just like to stick to one side and then hear the one side of the FBA's like I like to hear the other side too and see if they got a good argument of what they saying. And the more I hear the other side talk, the more it just make me shake my head and go, "Dang, bro! Like they don't get it." And that's the problem because I know they get it. I know they get it, and it's like trying to explain it to them. Like I'm gonna say it again, trying to explain something that they already understand. It makes no sense to me sometimes. It just makes no sense at all. As you'll see in this video, once we get into this video, first we're gonna start over here. As we get into this video, explaining it to them is it's like senseless, bro. It's senseless. But let's dive in. If be on TikTok and you want to check out some of the speakers that are speaking, like I said, you'll see
If we're
their
going to use
name
your
right
logic,
there.
Black American culture, what is it, y'all?
Right there.
Entirely stolen from white people. Like I said in another video, Cuban culture is more closely tied to, related to, similar to African culture and Africa than Black American culture is. You guys are far removed from Africa.
She's projecting. This is exactly what they do in Latin America. All the culture that's coming out of Latin America that's profitable come from the black people in those countries. But yet they put a white face on it. The black people in those countries is not the representation of their culture that's coming out of those countries, right? Even, let's take Cuba. All the culture that's coming out of Cuba is from the black people in that country, but yet they have no representation. The only reason it changed in the United States is because black Americans fought for representation of black American culture, and
Yeah, they be racist
white people
first
just
day.
don't have enough soul or flavor to
Dark
emulate
skinned
it,
Cubans.
right? It's not on you, it's in you. Black American culture been the most exploited, the most dominant culture for 150 years, right? Just because you have white people marketing and white people exporting it out of the United States, that don't mean it's not black American culture. It's just people taking advantage of it. And
Man.
the reason, right, that Cuba or Latin America don't have any black representation of their black culture is because those countries are doing the same thing that the United States used to do back in the 60s and the 50s with black American culture. Take credit for it, put their face on it when it's black American culture. White people had nothing to do with it. And I wonder if that white lady, the white Cuban lady, ever had any conversations with her parents or grandparents. Because the only reason why they over here in Florida, most likely, is because Fidel
Probably,
started giving the
probably.
black people in Cuba rights. She was like, "No, we can't be treated equal. We can't be treated the same as black folks." And that's why they fled to Cuba. And that's why everybody say that they're racist in Cuba, right? I want to say Cubans and Argentinians, they're like neck
What's
and
up,
neck when it
Awoken?
comes to this whiteness.
If we're going to use
It's wild because like all the cultures outside of the United States, it don't matter. Like whether you go to Mexico, Cuba, I don't care any one of these places, you will see that the dark skinned ones get treated worse than the light skinned ones. It doesn't matter where you go. The blacker you are, the worse it is for you. It don't matter where you at in the world.
Because I would say, arguably, if Black Americans was in some of y'all countries, those countries would be way more better than they are today.
And honestly, that's what y'all should do. But I mean, people are doing it. It's just on a small scale. So I think it's just more so the scale.
Because as a Black American, I don't know what it feels like to have to leave my country to go live somewhere else, because we have fought for everything for us to stay in this country and be able to make a living, not only for ourselves, but for the immigrants that's coming here. So I can't relate to leaving my country. I never did that. My people never left our country. We stayed here and fought for everything we had to get through: slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, all of that. We didn't have the luxury to be like, you know what? Let me go to fucking Saudi Arabia and just live my life thanks to the Saudi Arabians who made it possible. Like, no, we stood here and fought. So the fact that we have to get the disrespect, not even from not only from the white people, from the Asian people, now from the people that we thought was part of the African diaspora.
You're supposed to click up.
Looking at us like, no, them niggas, you heard what they said on the shit. Stay away from them black. These are African people telling African people to stay away from Black Americans. How you don't feel like?
But you also have to look at the statistics. What is it showing? Like, if I was to be with an American man, just any typical man, 9 out of 10, I'm probably going to be a baby mama. So that's what they're seeing. So if I marry an African man,
that's like me going to fucking Africa. 9 times out of 10, the poverty and all the fucking the corrupt politicians, it's the same shit. Because I would say arguably
different.
We don't want your neighborhood. We want ours to be just as good. See, we don't want a store in your neighborhood. We don't want you coming in our neighborhood and open up stores and exploiting us, and then go home and throw a bomb and we move next door out in the suburbs. We don't want your schools, but we want our schools.
That music, I can't do it.
Howdy, HMB. I saw another one of these lovely videos of yours. I just feel compelled to add my 2 cents on these things because it's such a great.
Hey, don't this be getting y'all sometimes though? When everybody, whether they right or wrong, everybody feel like when it comes to us, speaking about us as Black Americans, everybody can say something. As soon as we get to talking about everybody else, why they get mad? But they always speaking on us. Like I don't get that. Like all the time, most of the videos.
And I feel like more can be said.
They speaking on us.
First off,
I feel like I could say something about
and that
this.
sentiment just makes me so angry.
Stop opening
and
your
it's
legs.
I'm not angry at the person who's making the statement, but I'm angry at the system that is deliberately miseducating people so that they think like that. Okay.
Up against come around
that Black people, slavery was so long ago. Black people should just learn not to focus on it and get on with
I think that's the part that they don't like to hear when we say Black Americans is a separate race. They hate that shit, bro. They hate that.
It's been 200 years. Haven't got the shit together yet. And that's the same thing I was talking about in my earlier video, right? That a lot of white people just don't get it. Right, they don't understand. They don't understand intergenerational trauma and whatnot. So here's a brief highlight of some of the key points I think that have escaped the notice of people, or that maybe people don't necessarily understand how they impact things today. Because we take our own blessings for granted, no matter who we are. And so you as a white person, me as a white person, there's just certain advantages I had just by default. By virtue of the continuity of my family line, right? My family, they were poor, okay? They came out of the hills of Kentucky, but, not much on their name. And then from, my father's family came from Detroit. He was a business owner. My grandfather was a business owner, and then they went bust. And they came down to Florida, met up, blah, 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 blah. So we came from poverty, right? But we were able to work ourselves up pretty well. My grandfather was a mechanic. My other grandfather was, I guess, also a mechanic. A couple of mechanics in there. And they, they both were able to find work, support their families, as best they could, right? I've got a song about this actually, generally just do okay. And then their kids did a little bit better, and then now those kids are doing even better, right? And that's just the way it works. It's sort of generational progress. Now the problem is that in the Black community, there's been an assault on the stability that leads to that sort of just gradual progress, and it's explicit. And so, let me lay out a few key points about how this works. Okay, I won't go into the genetics, okay, but if you're interested in like the genetics of how memory transfers between, generations, holler in the comments, and I'll do my best to kind of explain some of that action. It's fascinating stuff. So slavery,
Yes, we know all
1400s,
about
basically,
that.
right? We've had the first slaves. Columbus came over and started enslaving and raping women. Woo! We forget about that. Trump is out here like, oh, we're bringing Columbus back. Fuck Columbus. Fuck Columbus was an order from the crown of Spain because he was so bad. The same people that brought us the Spanish Inquisition. Yes, this guy's a little bit out of pocket. He's gone too bad. We don't need to bring this guy back. But in addition to Columbus, we started seeing this like industrialized slavery, chattel slavery on a level never seen before in the world. It wasn't, indentured servitude, which the Irish always, some people, oh, well, Irish were slaves too. No, that was indentured servitude. It was a little bit different. It was like a term contract. You weren't, born into it in perpetuity for the rest of your generations. Okay. It sucked. Don't get me wrong. The Irish were screwed by the English for generations, but it's a little bit slightly different. Okay. It's like getting stabbed versus getting shot in some ways, but I digress. So slavery, essentially, until 1865, we had this horrific, never before seen in modern history. Who knows what they got up to in prehistory, the Egyptians, who knows how they treated people. Apparently it wasn't too great. But nothing ever seen before like it. And just, it's hard, even you watch the movies and whatnot, it's hard to understand the dehumanization that has occurred. Like I know for me, I have trouble really like grasping it sometimes, and it's, you've had to like kind of grow to an understanding, a grokking, if you will.
Still
over
not
time, over the
in,
years.
man.
So, and that's mainly because of my own, neurodiversity, I suppose.
Yes, all right. Yeah, I still going, man.
I would say, because I just have, I have trouble understanding people. I'm much better with facts and anyhow, I'm getting off track. So we had slavery, then we had the Civil War, right? Where people, states' rights to do what? Because part of the states' rights argument was that
that's what I was going to say,
and went to a free state.
You have to keep
the
getting
slave
off the
states,
subject.
they wanted the right to override that state's declaration of freedom for that individual and force them to send slaves back. So was it really about states' rights?
Land.
It's about my rights and not your rights, right? It's about the Southern states' rights to maintain slaves at all cost, because their entire world was built on it. This is like the keystone of my theory of mediocre caucasity, right? You have somebody else to do something for you, you get worse at it. And so we saw this after the Civil War in a period of time called Reconstruction, when Southerners who had gotten fat and happy off the labor of the slaves didn't know how to run their own shit. Okay? They had to rehire the slaves and then start coming up with all kinds of clever ways to keep them oppressed. Right?
Exactly.
And we get to that later too, right?
Exactly.
Always the ways to do it.
He said enough. Some people just be slow with landing the plane, and it's a huge plane.
The Black Americans are on TikTok stating that Black History Month is only meant to celebrate Black American history. And I 110% disagree. That's crazy. I can recognize that the concept of Black History Month started in America, but that's as far as that goes. To then come onto this app and state Black History Month is only meant to celebrate Black American history is absurd. And you are moving like the colonizers who put you there. First, y'all weren't even the first ones free. Second, majority of the Black figures you celebrate during Black History Month have roots in the Caribbean, who then have roots to the motherland. How can you disregard the motherland and the two boat stops before y'all? Maya Angelou, Trinidadian. Stokely Carmichael, Trinidadian. Colin Powell, Jamaican. Harry Belafonte, Jamaican. Grandmaster Flash, Bayesian. Malcolm X.
Now I'm gonna say it again. See, this is what they say, because they don't understand. These are people that they were putting in our place, in our face, in order to lead us. This is why they still don't get it. They never will get it. It was like a straight swap. And then now you put this person in our face, and you have this person speak like this and start leading us. In order to try to be one, to get us to beat them. And we were falling for it. Like we was falling, everybody fell for it. But now we see the game, and it's like, but and you explain this to them,
Grenadian,
they
who
ain't never gonna
concentrate the
understand it,
celebration
bro.
of Black
They
history
never
to
will.
just the Americas is absolutely ridiculous and contradictory to celebrating Black history.
We have to talk about the Caribbeans and the Africans who are practicing cultural encroachment against Black Americans. Very insidious. Black Americans, indigenous American Indians. It is I, Kanaway, the 5th great grandson of Nat Turner, one of the greatest freedom fighters of all time. On my channel, we talk about journalism, psychology, communication, media, and public relations in relation to protecting the identity and the history of my lineage. Oftentimes, through these channels, through these mediums, our narratives are changed. And these are also the areas of my expertise that I went to college for. See, we don't have a consensus. Let's get into it. The Black Americans who were white ethnic, like Malcolm X, and the other foreign Blacks that were living in the United States of America during a particular time, they lived a Black American experience. This is very important. They lived a Black American experience, and they were allies of Black Americans fighting for the rights, the civil rights, and the freedom of Black Americans. Specific people, not continental Africans and not Caribbeans living in the Caribbean. You understand what I'm saying? The time was different. You understand what I'm saying? We have to understand that first and foremost. Now, when continental Africans and Caribbeans come to the United States of America, they have a culture shock. If you have a culture shock, that means you are not the same. Present day, many of you are getting in these fake diaspora wars. Now, I'm not in the diaspora war because I'm not in the diaspora because me no African. But you're getting into these diaspora wars because you don't understand.
He said because me no African.
And each other. See, Caribbeans come to the United States of America and Africans, first, second, third generation, it doesn't matter. And you're still not understanding the history of Black Americans and the culture. If you pay attention, this is what you're arguing over. Black Americans don't have a culture. Black Americans want to be the center. Black Americans want to be the main character. But Black Americans are living in the variable of the United States of America, American Indians that we built. And we're already over here pre-slavery. We paved the way for you guys. Immigration Act of 1965, allowing you people to come over here and immigrate when the white people in power were only allowing white immigrants to come over here. And off the backs of civil rights, we said that's not right. Let the POC immigrants and the so-called Black immigrants into the United States of America. Our ancestors would have never imagined you guys would be so insidious. Here's the stance.
Exactly.
Black Americans were not made a protected class in the United States of America. That's why other groups of people who look similar to us look similar. Can come over here and cosplay and get our benefits. Black Americans are protecting culture, lineage, legacy, advocating for reparations, restorative justice, specific policies for our lineage, birthrights in the United States of America that you claim by lineage, not through Blackness. Many of you say, and you know this to be true, many Africans and Caribbeans, you say that Black Americans don't have a culture, but you want to infiltrate Black American spaces and culture with your Caribbean stuff and your African stuff, i.e. Essence Fest. Remember the editors of Essence said that they wanted to make Essence Fest that was for Black Americans, global Blackness, the focal point, Nigeria. You understand what I'm saying? Even you Caribbeans and Africans were trying to infiltrate Juneteenth. And what's so insidious is that you foreigners come here to the United States of America, and in your household, your parents give you your Caribbean culture and your African culture. And when you step outside your house, you mix and mingle with Black Americans, so you double dip. You get to double dip knowing that in your household, you grew up with your Caribbean culture, your Spanish culture, your African culture. And when you leave your household, you get to cosplay as Black Americans because you grow up in the United States of America. So the insidious part is you guys trying to interject your Caribbean.
Wow, that is very well put right there. And you know, a lot. I gotta rewind that because a lot. But they know what they doing. We ain't gotta tell them. It's gonna be a point. We're gonna stop talking.
You say that Black Americans don't have a culture, but you want to infiltrate Black American spaces and culture with your Caribbean stuff and your African stuff, i.e. Essence Fest. Remember the editors of Essence said that they wanted to make Essence Fest that was for Black Americans, global Blackness, the focal point, Nigeria. You understand what I'm saying? Even you Caribbeans and Africans were trying to infiltrate Juneteenth.
Wow.
And what's so insidious is that you foreigners come here to the United States of America, and in your household, your parents give you your Caribbean culture and your African culture. And when you step outside your house, you mix and mingle with Black Americans, so you double dip. You get to double dip knowing that in your household, you grew up with your Caribbean culture, your Spanish culture, your African culture. And when you leave your household, you get to cosplay as Black Americans because you grow up in the United States of America. So the insidious part is you guys trying to interject your Caribbean shit and your African shit into Black American spaces, all the while saying Black Americans don't have a culture. And Black Americans cannot go to the Caribbean or Africa and interject with what you got going on. We cannot put our shit in your culture, or you would say, get the fuck out of here. Now, this is some miscommunication because Black Americans never said that Africans and Caribbeans couldn't participate. We just said, you are not entitled to the culture and you're not entitled to Black American birthrights. And you know, you guys say that Black Americans don't have a culture. So why would you try to steal our culture and our celebrations in Black American History Month? This is not World so-called Black History Month. It is not World African History Month. It's about Black Americans. So the celebration of Black American History Month, Black Americans have no problem with celebrating by ethnic people such as Malcolm X and people who were foreigners who were in the movement in the United States of America because they contributed. Man. You guys, you continental Africans and Caribbeans did not contribute to shit. So you're not entitled to it. So what they do is they use Malcolm X by ethnic people and Black foreigners who had a Black American experience, who were fighting for Black Americans as a segue, as a gate, as a catalyst to say, hey, Caribbeans and Africans perhaps were in Black America in the United States of America. So we are entitled because these characters give leeway for us to cosplay. But these characters were fighting for Black Americans and living a Black American experience. And you guys are anti-Black American. That's why you practice cultural encroachment. Even when people ask Black Americans, what is your culture? Knowing they see our culture and wear our culture every day. Where are you really from? Even the continental Africans will look at Caribbean.
Oh, wait. And I like the way he said, that's why I don't argue with none of them. Look, I'm going to just tell you the way it is. But that is deep, man, when you really think about it. Because they got their culture inside their house. Then they go outside and they mimic our culture. They don't let us change their culture. But then they tell us we don't have no culture while cosplaying our... Oh, this shit get deeper and deeper. Thank you for
like they have a culture. Now if you're going with the theory, the exaggerated narrative of the transatlantic slave trade, if you are the people that go with that theory, that exaggeration, then Caribbeans would have made up their culture too. So how is it that Caribbeans have a culture and Black Americans don't have a culture? If you're going with the exaggerated narrative of the transatlantic slave trade, and I say exaggerated because the least amount of African slaves came to the United States of America, the majority went to the Caribbean. So if anybody would be lost, it would be Caribbeans. If the majority of Africans went there, why does everyone always create these narratives around Black Americans being lost? Even with the return to Africa thing, Black Americans are always front and center. Why isn't it Caribbeans? You guys know they market that lostness to Black Americans.
Yeah, no, we always market it. No, this is not right. This is not right. He said they leave the culture right at the airport and get off, get to some Jordans of a fitted hat and a hip hop beat. No, look, no, they get the clothes and the hat right, but when you get down to them shoes, they be like RBX. They be some XJ900s. They be some shoes that we wouldn't even look at if we was walking. We wouldn't even look at Payless or look at the shoes in Target. They be some shoes that be close, but they don't be, they be off. That's why when they see you, they be just looking at you like, looking at your Jordans going, I tried to get Jordans, but these ain't Jordans. But they be getting there, but you get down to them shoes though. I'm telling you, I said, dang, I just charged my phone though. I'm gonna start uploading the videos that I was taking.
What is my point?
No
one said you guys couldn't participate. We said do not inject your Caribbean leaders and your heroes and your African leaders and your heroes into Black American History Month that we're not in the United States of America, because that takes away from our festivities and our celebrations, and it's no longer about Black Americans. And it should be, because we're living in our variables. You guys fled your land, so you're not living in your variable. So you growing up with your Caribbean culture and your African culture, and now you're trying to influence our culture. It's not right.
Yeah, it's not.
Black Americans, Indigenous American Indians, am I making sense? These foreigners grow up in the United States of America or in the Caribbean or in Africa, having their parents give them their culture, and they get to double dip in Black American culture and want to inject their heroes from the Caribbean or Africa who had nothing to do with Black Americans in the United States of America. So the issue isn't by ethnic people or multicultural people who are Black American, who have Black American lineage, because Malcolm X is still a Black American. Okay, it's not about Black Americans not celebrating foreigners who are actual allies of Black Americans. You guys are not allies of Black Americans because you don't advocate for our reparations, restorative justice, and specific policies for our lineage, birthrights in the United States of America. Those by ethnic people and multicultural people and Black foreigners who grew up in the belly of the beast. Y'all didn't grow up in the belly of the beast. They were advocating for these things I just listed. You guys don't. Exactly. But you guys like to cosplay and throw an umbrella over all of us and say we're fighting for the same thing, saying that we have the same oppressor, but our so-called same oppressor gave you guys access and locked us out. Exactly. So we're not fighting for the same thing. So you guys who want to practice cultural encroachment, see, I never thought people were this dense. I never thought people were this dense. And it's out of hand. What's not being understood here? You can participate.
They hot. I'm about to switch over to them. They hot. They hot as fish grease. I didn't know they was that hot, but I did, like, you know, as I've been doing this, I said, because at first, like, bro, I always said, I never knew they didn't like us, but I kind of had a feeling of it because moving to San Diego and then seeing, you know, people from the Caribbean, like people from Africa and stuff like that. Them the ones, like, when they see me, like, I dress, I look, I talk, I'm American, I'm FBA. So when I talk, they know the difference. So when I talk, they don't speak. They be quiet, like they be trying to hide their African lineage. And I never could understand it, but I get it now. I said, okay, this is why. I get it now.
Not about you, and it's not about the Caribbean, and it's not about Africa, your leaders. It's about the people in the United States of America. Because let's say if I went to, now look, wait, hold on. Look at her bio. Look at all these flags in her bio. A full foreigner. If I went to her land, right, and let's say I'm a Black American, Indigenous American Indian, I am, and I go there and I help the people there, right, me, Kanaway. Does that give leeway for Black Americans, Indigenous American Indians from the United States of America to say that they are entitled to the things you're entitled to in your land? No, it doesn't. So you guys, you don't make sense. But here is a video of Malcolm X, who was half Caribbean and half Black American, who stood on Black American business. And in this video, you hear Malcolm X saying that foreigners, Africans and Puerto Ricans, Caribbeans are not entitled to the things Black Americans are entitled to. So it's funny that you guys always bring up Malcolm X, but he stood on Black American business, lineage business, and he understood that. Take a look at this clip and put these people on notice.
Yes, I think you're right there. I would not limit our employment demands to Negroes. I would include Puerto Ricans and other minorities throughout our country, which have been similarly discriminated against, though not for so long a period of time as Negroes.
Puerto Ricans weren't enslaved. This is a problem that stems from slavery. And this compensation, yes, so this compensation is coming to people who were enslaved by the white man for 400 years. The Puerto Ricans don't even fit into this picture.
Well, they do fit into it.
No,
the
problem is the Negro problem. They're not lynching Puerto Ricans.
If a dark-skinned Puerto Rican went down to Mississippi, he probably would be lynched too.
Spanish, he wouldn't be lynched.
No, they don't.
It's the Negro here, and as long as he speaks Spanish or some other language, or if he ties his head up with a turban or something, he can go anywhere in Mississippi or in your home that he desires.
You're not aware of the fact, are you, that African students have been arrested in our demonstrations in the South?
When they
speak French.
When they have been mistaken for the so-called Negro in America, they've been arrested.
What I'm saying,
the Black Americans are on TikTok.
Hey, even Malcolm X knew the. God, he had the ingredients.
Blacks. See, this is essentially the problem, and the Republicans.
What have we done to the immigrants? We owe Black people something. We have a legacy of slavery. Immigrants haven't even been in this country. That's why the Democrats are dropping the Blacks and moving on to the Hispanics, because they're a larger group of Hispanics now. But the reason people are concerned about the words they use, the reason Americans care about civil rights, the reason we are sensitive to racism is for one issue and one issue only, and that is how Black Americans were treated in this country. It is because of the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow. Those do not compare. Irish, the new groups, they always get a little bad treatment. Do not compare that to how Blacks are treated in this country. You don't get to piggyback on the Black experience in America. You do not get to do that just because you are a woman, an immigrant, gay, Hispanic. No, the rest of you can go F yourselves.
Exactly. Exactly. See, I'm gonna tell you right. Over time, you see some of the white people be having our backs. They be understanding. You feel me? They understand. They understand. But the people that come in that are immigrants that's been here as immigrants, even that were born here from immigrant parents, they not gonna understand it.
You know,
They do, but they ain't
my
gonna want to
husband
say
studied
they
in the
do.
US, and I always was like very critical of African Americans. And then I would say, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know they're famous for basketball and music. What else?" And my husband would say, "Start researching pre-colonial Africa and see who's
Man,
fighting. It's
can't
not
ever.
Africans, it's them."
They try though.
So give them the dignity and the respect that they deserve, because while you live on this continent, you have done very minimally to research this continent before colonization. And when I had to do that for my PhD and the first book that I've written, I shocked myself because most of the writings, it's them. So I then said, okay, I was ignorant. I amend myself. I am now self-critiquing and snapping out of it. They are not only good for basketball and music and art. When African Americans are truly Afrocentric, even the term Afrocentrism, they came with it. They are the ones who've cautioned us and said, Pan-Africanism is this, guys, but Afrocentrism is this. You need to posit everything you're doing. If it's psychology, it's okay. We know the university could have been UCT, it could have been Oxford. They trained you the Western way. But as an African, go now and develop African psychology. Go and read Africa pre-colonially, how the relations were. Come with it down all the way. From that, you'll be able to craft what you call African psychology. So they're saying to all of our things, let's do that. So yes, I say to people, I love Africanism, but I've gone beyond that. I'm Afrocentric. Everything for me is about Africa and being an African. You know.
Look, she had to go do some research though. She get the message.
Happy AM. I see I struck some nerves. Don't worry about if this is my hair. Worry about if you got your papers. Okay? And then also, here's another thing.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right. Hey, I'll be seeing some of y'all clown in the chat. I used to be like, nah, man, let's not talk like that. But as I go in deeper, these motherfuckers be saying some shit about us. That's why I don't say nothing no more. That's why I just laugh because whenever motherfuckers be talking shit, like I say, oh yeah, they must have been seeing them videos I was watching because these motherfuckers be talking shit about us like we dumb as hell. We don't know shit. We lazy. Cause we don't got no culture. They call us all kind of weird ass names and while trying to look like us. That shit be weird as hell.
We don't care if they're coming for us. Do you know how many?
Let me start that all over.
Happy AM. I see I struck some nerves. Don't worry about if this is my hair. Worry about if you got your papers. Okay? And then also, here's another thing. We don't care if they're coming for us. Do you know how many years they've been coming for Black people in this country? It was just that we were today years old that we decided that every issue can't be our issue. Have you ever took the time? And let me be clear. I know that all Latinos do not think the same. I'm specifically speaking to the ones that are getting online and saying that we are not aligning with them, or why aren't we aligning with them? Showing up to a Juneteenth celebration, not as an ally, but as an opposition, is a problem. So if there's peace, there will be peace. Because one thing about FBAs, we don't start it, but we can finish it. And the fact that you guys, those that voted for Trump, bit your nose off to despite your face. Because you know what you thought? You thought that when you voted for Trump, that we would be the targets. We've been the target since 400 years ago.
Exactly.
I can give you some statistical facts.
And I think that's part that pisses me off is the fact that when the immigrants went and voted for Trump, they did think we were going to be the target. They said it. They knew we was going to be the target. Then when they became the target, now it's like, hey, well, how come y'all ain't helping us? And it's like, because y'all ain't
been on the front line for you guys. If as Latinos you were stepping up in the right way, invite Black colleagues to co-lead with you. You don't. Not before now. This is the first time that I've ever seen Latinos speaking in regards to wanting us to align with you. So
Always cosplaying us.
let's keep it real. We have fought for all of the people that get to have the privilege to be here in this country. And it's high time. Don't tell me not to get mad. Don't tell me that I'm next. Don't tell me that you don't need our help, because obviously you do. There would be no need to address this if the Latino community would go and deal with the powers that be. But we are power. We understand why you all would want us to align. But do you understand the history of us? Like, let's be clear.
No, they don't. That's how come when some shit happening, they always like they make it seem like we did the shit. Uh, like, and then I see them complain to me. Well, you know, it's a lot. Some of the ICE agents are Mexican. And it's like all the border patrol is Mexican. You ain't been to Mexico. You ain't went to the border and crossed the border. 90% of the border patrol is Mexicans. I see them driving around here all the time in their trucks. Ain't nothing new.
So take my passion as what it is. This is not hate speech. This is not hate speech at all. This is addressing those that have obviously not done their homework on how much Black people have suffered at the hands of this government, at the hands of master. Okay? You guess what? I don't have a master, but my ancestors did. My ancestors were brutally terrorized, divided, shackled, whipped, beaten. And you guys don't give a shit about that. Y'all don't care. So this is, to my Latino brothers and sisters, it should be a call to unity with us. Let's be very clear. But you know what? We as FBAs acknowledge is that even though we show love to every culture,
we always been like that.
There is still
that's the
blatant discrimination.
That's the point I cannot stop stressing is FBA Black Americans, like FBA foundational Black Americans. I ain't talking about people that the immigrants and stuff. We always been showing love to everybody. We just didn't know y'all felt like this about us. We didn't know. We was showing love. We was being respectful to everybody. We always been like that. Our parents didn't teach us to hate everybody. Y'all parents taught y'all to hate us. It don't matter which country or if you was here, if you wasn't here, all your parents and grandparents taught y'all to hate us. That's the part that gets me. And then when we call it out, you try to make it seem like it's something wrong with us. But you know yourself, being an immigrant, being around your folks, your grandmothers, your grandmas, your parents. They talk about it around family members. They family members around the house and everything. It's always been like that. We didn't care though. We still showed y'all love. Still. And we still wasn't racist towards you. But all of them was always racist towards us. That's the part that I think us now are really angry at, is that y'all been talking shit about us for the longest.
Racism.
It's not new. It's just
and
new to us
ideologies
right now.
against us.
Damn
Just
sure
like
new to me.
you guys are on here saying, not all of us think the same. Same.
And
not all of us are the same either. But you group us up.
Okay.
And you talk shit. And you do underlining things in regards to money. This is what it boils down to.
Money.
Everyone having the freedoms to economically be stable, have community, be able to take care of their loved ones. If you listen to anything that I said, we have always empathized with everyone.
Everybody.
Especially you all. because we are the closest in color, the black and browns. Matter of fact, there's a blend. There's a lot of mixed black and brown, right? But you guys will get on your conservativeness and feel like that you're better than us. It doesn't matter about if they're coming. If you would think about the civil rights movements in the 1950s and 60s, led by Black Americans, gave rise to the Civil Acts Right of 1964. Civil rights. That means the rights and the freedoms that your Latino brothers and sisters achieved when they came and did their legal citizenship the right way.
What's that?
We led that. I could see common sense isn't common.
It's
and this
not.
Is why
not today.
Most of us have chosen to be hands off on what's going on with the ISIS raids because, again, just from what I said, how would you feel if 1 million blacks showed up to a Cinco de Mayo or any event that's held in regards to Latins on the opposition, on the day of the opposition? But you want us to align. And for those that don't need our help, we don't care if you don't need our help. We like I said, just the other day, I was driving and I saw ISIS jumping out and had several Latino men like blocked off. And you know what I yelled out the window when I passed by? I yelled, "Fuck ISIS." All the people that were in the cars, they were mostly, because it was in a Latin area, so, Valley, Deep Valley, Pacoima, Panorama, all that. And they were driving. Trust me, we all are fighting the same war.
Malcolm X.
You know what I'm saying? Prophet of poverty. Caged our children. Erasing our culture. Don't you realize this has been happening for hundreds of years with Black people? Are you willing to go against the government for us? No. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. No. Because you have your own issues to deal with. And we are not mad if you have your own issues to deal with. It would be great. We understand about the Black Panther Party and Cesar Chavez and all of that, but we're talking about today.
Don't bring up Cesar Chavez right now. It's not a good time for Cesar. It's not a good time because, they about to erase. His name is about to get erased. About 100 years from now, it's going to be like he never existed. I hate to say it. They about to erase, oh boy.
Now, I don't know of any Latin community leaders that are trying to align with us. The struggle is real.
Bro, you know how we talk. She did say ISIS. She said F ISIS. You know how we talk.
You know what I'm saying? The struggle isn't real, but I just think it would be best if you all understood and did take the time, because not one person had a comment of, "We do understand."
Yeah,
we understand.
I ain't gonna say all
no, you want to come back with your master and all that. That shit is not offensive, because guess what? Even though they did everything to bury us, we still resurrect. They not like us. We our favorite rappers. We our favorite celebrities. We our favorite prototype to copy. Yeah.
And
I say this respectfully.
Now that was dope. We're the favorite prototype for them to copy on everything. On everything.
The American Negro has a great deal to be proud about.
I dig the new African look. I think it's a groove, but I'm American, and I'm proud of it, because one thing we as Black people have a lot we could be proud of, that we contribute to this country that you don't read about in the white history books. You understand? But there's one thing you know for sure, and that's that music, that sweet soul music. Everybody try to imitate us because they know where it's at. They know what's happening. They know we got soul. You understand? Even the Beatles started out that way. Can you dig it?
Not only is history being questioned.
Exactly.
Because I love you, I'm going to show you the truth. Not just
Okay,
tell you.
look.
You said
This
foundational
girl
Black
right here.
American refers to the descendants of enslaved Africans who were brought to the United States and built the foundation of the country through forced labor, resistance. Let me read you the law of who was actually enslaved. This is the law of 1682 in Virginia, because that's the only state that was, the United States was not formed until 1777. The law that enslaved us is the law of 1682. And it says Virginia laws enact Act 1, that all servants to be imported into this country, either by sea or by land.
Let me pause this shit. He said, license assist. What the fuck? Hey, then she sounded like my aunt. Like, that's what my aunt would say. Like, F ISIS assist. It's like, wait, what?
Negroes, Moors, Muslim North Africans. Negroes are ancient Berbers. That is in the South Carolina Negro Act of 1740, and I'll show you that next. Mulattoes.
But it's crazy how she even put this up here. Foundational Black Americans, FBA refers to the descendants or enslaved Africans who were brought to the U.S. and built the foundation of this country through forced labor, Renaissance, and culture. And then she posted this, though. This is what's crazy, because even this. Why would it have Negroes, Moors, Muslims, North Africans, and Indians? Why would it even have Negroes and it wouldn't have Africans? Like, wouldn't like back then, like, you know, while she trying to prove her point, I'm just saying, back then, wouldn't the Negroes have been Africans already? I mean, this sound like some ISIS sis.
Indians whose parentage and native countries are not Christian at the time of their purchase by some Christians. That's anyone taken with the doctrine of discovery. This made Dred Scott born into slavery. That is what got us freed in 1865. So it's telling you who was enslaved. Negroes are ancient Berbers. I'll show you that law next. Moors, Muslim North Africans, and American Indians whose land was taken by Christians. So those people by 1865 would be called Black, erasing their true identity as North Africans and American Indians. By law, you are not Black. By law, those enslaved who built this United States are the Negroes, the ancient Berbers of North Africa, the Muslims of North Africa, and American Indians taken with the doctrine of discovery. By law, you are not Black.
We're not going. We know this. See, I'm going to tell you, right, this is what's wild. Why when you say something, why people try to take one word and make the whole thing look bad? Okay, if people want to use Black, they can use Black. The Crips wanted to be called Crips, they was called Crips. The Bloods wanted to be Bloods, they was called Bloods, and so on. This is okay, like, what's wrong with that? You feel me? The laws don't apply to us anyway. The laws ain't for us. They never was.
Law, you are foundationally American. Stop with the Black shit. That comes from the United States, who enslaved you as prisoners of war and made you a low-class citizen of the United States. You were born American, and that's why you were born into slavery. You are either North African or you are American Indian. By law. I love you.
She said by law.
Scared to go at them. Yeah. Like it been in history. Everybody got their rights through us. Yeah. You go back in history, you don't see nobody else fighting them fights, getting hit with the water hoses or hit the dogs. No, it was us. Everybody else got their rights off of our fight. Mm-hmm. And then they get the privileges and then they start looking down on us like we the problem. Like,
These
nigga,
is
what?
all facts. These is all facts.
Nigga, we the reason you cracking right now. What is you talking about?
So I think they don't like your delivery.
It's not
but the message is all a fact.
Man, this ain't DiGiorno's. I don't give a fuck about no delivery.
Sure.
Exactly.
And this ain't Burger King. You can't have it your way. Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be the truth. Real
fact what you said for sure.
So how do you feel about like these up and coming or these Mexican artists or Hispanic about their new rap style? the cadence, the attire that they present themselves in front of cameras. Like, what's y'all take on that?
We know what the take is. Everything is us. Everything is us. Everything is emulated through us. The cadence, the rap style, the look, the style. They getting edge ups now. Nigga, when I was growing up, essays didn't have edge ups. They was bald, nigga.
Yeah.
Niggas are getting straight, lineups, fades, everything is us. We set the precedent.
Hey, did you see the Chinese people over there doing the black hairstyles now to where they make their hair like kind of, nappy like ours, and they getting froze and shit? I said,
Here
dang,
to
we
Africa,
ain't got no
to
culture
China,
though.
to
That's what I
Alaska,
keep saying.
we set the trends around the world.
Chinese,
Everybody's a carbon copy of us. But once they get the success, a lot of people start to try to shun us out the picture. Like, we not the blueprint.
So
scared to go at them.
Yeah,
that's why it's crazy, because when we even when we see like a white rapper or any other rapper that come out that rap like us, we give them they just desserts. We give them props. We blow them up, and then they curveball us every time. Well, not Eminem, but Eminem never. He was always good to me, but still though, they always curveball us, bro. That should be funny as hell.
Hey family, welcome to...
No, we're not watching that.
Y'all, I am so fucking mad. I am just trying not to get banned. I'm so mad. I am really I had to call my friend. I was like, I went off because I saw the Black Panthers, the original Black Panther Party, and I'm going to post it right here. They went to a press release and they said, we are not here to fight for the illegals. We are here to, they were like, we will help people who need help. They were like, but our mission isn't that. Our purpose is for the ethnic Black American community. We're not going to sit here and fight for immigration. That's not our fight. Let me show you, and then I'll tell you why I'm mad. Let me show you.
Man, y'all be taking too long on the land. We about to switch over here and hear the other side, You know what I mean?
And this is where hip hop is born out of. Did you watch the Rebel Kings documentary? I thought that was so amazing.
Largely. Why did you say largely and not totally?
What in terms of hip hop coming out of those ashes?
Yeah.
Oh, because the origins of hip hop or what leads to hip hop.
This is deep.
A lot of people, no question is look, and people are entitled to their opinion.
Okay.
But this is what happened.
Tell us.
This is what happened.
Tell us from those. Yes.
There were DJs, and before I go, I'm gonna run this down. It's incredible.
You want a shot? Do you want a shot? You want a shot or something?
Let's wait for quick time.
Okay. Because I feel like you getting in here.
Listen, I've been waiting. I wanted to get on here and shit.
I'm sitting
Y'all
down
not
like,
even gonna let him.
Listen, I am in school right now.
Man,
It's
stop,
your
though.
face. You know what? I can tell you want it.
No, this is a good one that I'm passionate about.
Okay.
Because
I'm looking at your
obviously
face,
there's a lot of different stories.
Yes, there is.
About the Jamaica connection and whatever, and the dance hall. I'm deep into that since the 70s as well. Growing up in Brooklyn, I'm going to, hearing all them early dance hall records.
Yeah.
But there were DJs that damn near go back to the late 60s that were mobile DJs. They wasn't cutting or scratching, but they was mixing one record to the other. That was the big innovation. Everybody else had a record player going back, 70s going further back. You put 4 or 5 45s and the arm would swing, drop a record, it would play. And that's how people listen to music.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
And they were considered DJs.
What?
They were considered DJs?
No.
Okay.
You was just playing records.
Okay, just playing records, yeah.
Now, the idea of the DJ, what is that short for?
Disc jockey.
Thank you.
Okay.
Who was the disc jockey in those time frames? Thank you. This is the real inspiration for what the dance hall DJs, that sound system scene did in Jamaica, and what these early DJs were doing here. They were emulating the black radio DJs, and because they was the ones talking kind of slick.
I didn't say Eminem was the king of rap. I didn't say that at all. At all. I didn't say that's what he's not. That's what he's not.
The talking over.
You had a little job talk, hip slang. It was Jocko, who was out of Philly in New York, had a little slick shit, kind of rhyming. When you look at the history going down to the scene in Memphis, Stax Records, Pee Wee Markham, he was on the radio.
Wow.
Sly Stone, he was on the radio. That's how he built his name in San Francisco. So the big inspiration on the idea of a DJ is the disc jockey on the radio.
Right.
They were the ones who played the music, had the flavor, talked that slick shit, sound fly, and play the records you wanted to hear. That's really who the DJs were inspired by, because it's like, oh, this is like the radio. He's playing, and the beginning of people getting on the mic were like emulating what the radio guys did.
Transitioning the records by talking over them and
just really bigging up who the DJ was and shouting him out and promoting him. That was what the original foundation was.
Because even in hip hop, the DJ was the man way before.
Thank you.
Okay.
The DJ was the man. He had the system.
Yeah.
He brought the music out.
They wanted to be DJs. They didn't want to be rappers.
Better believe it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was 100%. And that was a huge scene that developed like through the 70s. Like Herc will tell you, Pete DJ Jones, the original Grandmaster Flowers, my boy, there was a list of these cats. Queens had people like the Disco Twins, the Infinity Machine. My boy Hassan and Ron Lawrence, Ron Amin Ra, who was one of the, the Hitman man. He's doing all them cool like AI clips now, where people talking about hip hop, and he takes the photos and make a move a little bit. They made a documentary a little over 10 years ago called Founding Fathers. That details, it was on YouTube for a bunch of time. It's about to be on Tubi.
Okay.
And the Founding Fathers really interviews and talks about this era of the game. And these DJs.
When we say Founding Fathers, I just want to reiterate that we're talking about the Founding Fathers of hip hop, correct?
Well, that's what it implies, but it's really like, it doesn't say that in the title, but you're 100% right.
Okay.
But in terms of what led to that, boom. What Herc did, once again, is genius, because he took that structure of the DJs that was mad popular all over the city, and then he brought something new to the table with the
breaks,
playing the breaks, picking up, doing that like needle drop type of technique, and flashing them will tell you they got what he was trying to do. It was incredible, but they couldn't catch the beat all the time. And Flash went and did the research to figure out what turntable. But it was the research. But he did research for every turntable until he found out that the Technique 1200 was the one that had the direct drive.
Right, it wasn't belt drive.
And then so the other ones, it was a drag before you got to the beat.
Yeah.
So we have Flash on here.
Flash was amazing on
We had Cass on here.
Yeah, a Grandmaster.
Yeah,
we had Crazy Legs on here.
Yes, I seen that.
She's still like, what is it telling?
And I feel like
still like, what is it telling? They explaining where the hip hop came from, which is black culture, but they wouldn't let him. Every time he started trying to explain it, they said it right here. They keep interrupting him. Every time he get to talking, they keep cutting him off though. It's like, probably because they drunk and he not. I don't know.
But I'm glad you said that, because seriously, what is the plan of action for FBAs when these non-FBAs, or these tethers specifically, attach themselves to our lineage or to our culture and then turn around and flip on us? Because Shaboozey is one, but Nicki Minaj been running around acting like she FBA for about 10, 15 years now, since I was in middle school, elementary. So this woman has came up completely off of FBA culture and FBA artists like Gucci Mane, Lil Wayne. Okay, so we know that she was lit. The only reason she's on right now is because of Black Americans. Point blank, period. I'm not in support of either party. We know it's two sides of the same white supremacist coin.
Yes.
So I'm not in support of either, and I'm not very fond of any celebrity advocating for either side, because neither one is offering tangibles. Facts. So when we see Beyonce up on stage with Kamala, I'm like, just Kelly Rowland, Megan Thee Stallion, okay. But then you turn around, you got Waka Flocka and Trump's inaugural ball. You got Snoop over there. You got, you know what I'm saying? So they're on both sides. Certainly. The thing is, where she went too far is she started bootlicking. She started ass kissing. She started shucking and jiving. She started talking about, she got into her Marilyn Monroe bag, like, oh, thank you, Mr. President. That's what it was giving, that energy. Yeah. Very Bedwitch-like.
Oh, no.
Come on. Ooh. So it's like, for you to get up here to do all this and not even be doing this really for the sake of the betterment of Black America, to bring tangible stuff, you're doing it to get a gold card, which she got. So mission accomplished. It's very selfish and very off-code, especially for somebody in her predicament, a tether in her predicament, who has came up so much off our culture. What do we do for people like that? But I'm glad you said that, because seriously.
hair looked like Abraham Lincoln's.
So
He was Jamaican. He was not a proponent of the hip hop lifestyle. Yeah, you just love this black life, don't you? He never called it hip hop music. He said, "Yeah, just love this yoga."
That'd be crazy because I be feeling like we be leaving everybody alone. We just did like it's wild. Like I said, when we get to speak up as as FBAs, when we start speaking up, that's when it becomes a problem. Like, cause we didn't used to trip off anything. Like, bro, we always showed love to everybody. We always respected anybody. Like, we even if we had jokes, like we joke about each other. When I go around my cousins and them, that's all we do is crack jokes on each other. Like y'all, I know a lot of y'all do it too. When you get around your cousins and the ones you grew up with, oh yeah, we crack jokes. We back in the days we used to call it, he got molded. You feel me? He got scolded. We used to have all different kind of names, but we'll be talking hella shit, bro. If you had roaches, oh, we was on your top. We was on your top. If you anything that was wrong, that's just what we did. But we always had respect for everybody else's culture. We never was taught any kind of hate. That's the cold thing about it. That's why a lot of this stuff right here that I be watching right now is like kind of throwing me off because I'm going, dang, I'm trying to remember when my parents taught us as kids to hate Africans or to hate Mexicans or to even hate white people even after what they did. I only had one uncle that used to always say hate white people. That's it. And that was it. No other race he never said nothing about. But he'd be telling you, hate the white people, hate the white people. And he had a white... and he had it. And all he messed with were white girls. That's...
music. After everything blows up,
that's all he
took him
messed
to the
with
dealership to buy
girls.
me a car. He was like, I always believed in you. Give me that.
Look,
The foundational
we already
fun
seen her.
fact: twerking is very new to Black American, foundational Black American culture. Did that trigger you?
Did y'all hear this one right here? Did you hear what she said? She said twerking is new to foundational Black Americans. Now, let me say this. Anybody growing up in the 80s, right? What was it called? I'm going to wait to see if somebody can figure it out and post it in the chat what the twerking dances was called back in the 80s. Because it wasn't called twerking.
Let's talk about it. And this is something that I never thought
these
about.
These are dances they was doing way back in the juke joints, way back in the days. They show it in the movies all the time.
We were on live the other day talking about foundational Black American culture. And a guy came up and was like, twerking is actually very new to Black American culture. Like, we were not twerking until Uncle Luke brought that over in the 80s from the Caribbean islands. And I said, whoa.
That's close.
Let me look into this and see how deep this rabbit hole goes. Lo and behold, it is actually true. Twerking is very recent to foundational Black American.
It's crazy. It's crazy because the name been changed over time so many times. Watch, when I said, if don't nobody say it when I said, you're going to start laughing.
Culture. A lot of people like to tie twerking back to our African ancestors, those of us who have African ancestors who used to twerk, I guess, in their cultures. However, doing my reading and research on history, there's a very big gap between the beginning of slavery and to when Black Americans actually.
Bam! There it go, right there. Look, there it go, right there. I knew somebody was going. It was called the Freak. That's what it was called. It was called the Freak. Before all those other things, the dance was called the Freak. Tootsie Roll, way later. Doing the butt, way later. When we was going to parties, we was freaking. That's what it was called. It was called the Freak. I don't know what it was called before that. I might have to ask my mama or something.
Did get from our African ancestors. How come there was a gap? How come this didn't show up in our...
We was freaking way before the butt, bro. I hate to say it. We was freaking way before the butt. Before Kid and Play.
Dances over time prior to Uncle Luke. I think people fail to realize that being Black American, Foundation of Black American, is a fairly new ethnic group. Like, we just spawned like back in the fucking 1700s. So our culture, even though it's the most dominant culture in the world, it is fairly new.
Wow,
so long,
that was
we were
okay. That was before the freak, and we is gonna skip her because I already see where she going with this. And like I wanted to hear it, but I don't want to hear it. But he said, I'm an 83 baby. I was a kid in the 80s. Me too. I was born in 75. So I was there through it all. I was there, you feel me? Like through it all. That's why I never could understand when people were saying, well, you know, the rap music is messing up our kids, and you feel me, and the kids is making the kids do all these things. It was like, and we was shooting people when Marvin Gaye was playing. Back in Marvin Gaye, Isley Brothers, all them back in them days, in the 60s, the 50s, before rap even came into play, this shit was going on. Like, that's what it is. That's just what it is. Don't try to blame it on the music. Like, no, the music just talking about it right now. Feel me? Booty shaking. Yeah, the butt was School Days era, because the butt came out on Kid and Play movie. Doing the butt. That came out on
I'll say this, I'm not programmed anymore. I can see outside of it. I write and think about those spaces a lot. Like I do research on, now it's more digital, but I write and think about people who join those things and why. I'm always interested in why people join those things. I know why I did it, I know why other people did it, right? It was hard to be in there in certain ways, but I miss it. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the family part of it. I miss learning, like just doing that kind of stuff. It was just dope. It was a great time.
Like I ain't gonna lie, I like the 80s babies, the 90s babies, but the 70s babies, we the rawest ones. I ain't got nothing against y'all from all the other, the 80s and the 90s and whatever, but the 70s babies was the best ones, man, because we was able to see it all. We lived through the crack era. We lived through when the music changed and switched over. We lived from the 70s. We lived through a lot of shit. People wasn't even there to see. We lived it. We watched NWA become NWA. We watched Tupac become Tupac. We watched Digital Underground become Digital Underground. We watched Grandma's Flag. We watched all these people become who they like. We watched everybody come and go. A lot of people just come and go. We watched a lot of fashions come and go. We seen a whole lot of it, like live through it, like actually participated in some of it. We participated in some of it.
You think you could do that married? Not to my wife. I'd have to marry somebody in the cult.
Yeah, you can.
You gotta kind of. It's like being on coke, like or being on crack. Like you kind of gotta be all in, and the other person kind of gotta be all in with you, or else eventually you bump heads.
If you found another cult that you really believed in, that you felt was,
I'm not joining no cult. I'm out.
You already have. You ever thought about starting your own
cult?
Start your own cult.
I thought about that when I was in my early 20s.
That's all that night school is. He keep having
72, 100.
These ritual dances and shit. He trying to start his own cult.
Right? Just donate. No, I mean now I look at shit different. Liberation is absolutely what I care about. But at the time, when you first leave some fucked up shit, the first thing you think is, how can I get revenge? And the best way to get revenge is to like have motherfuckers doing the same shit that you did. Yeah, I could come up with this shit. You know what I mean? I used to be on the streets selling books. Doing all this shit, man. And we went through a lot of hell.
Y'all used to hustle at the HBCUs and stuff.
We used to HBCUs, and in Philly, we was on 52nd Street. And we had a house at 52nd and Master, and we ain't had no toilet, we ain't had no showers, we ain't had no heat. I used to have to pee and we used to cut the water jugs, the gallon water jugs, and pee in them and pour them out at night. We used to sleep on boards.
What about the doo-doo?
You find a place.
Nigga just skipped over.
You can piss anywhere, bro.
You learn to control that, but no, you go to McDonald's. We go to McDonald's. I used to shit on McDonald's 52nd Street. That's what I'm saying. Like
it's still there.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It smell like it too.
So how would you earn income in a new cult?
In a new cult?
He's famous. If you found a cult today, that
I would lead one. I would be the boss.
That's who get rich. The
So
boss.
after you turn them
I
out,
would send
you take
niggas
control
out.
of it.
I would send niggas out in the world to do whatever they got to do. Like, in our cult, they told us how to make money, but it was incense and books. But in real life, they didn't give a fuck. You turn in the money every week, and if you didn't turn in the money, you got fucked up. So whatever we did other shit to make the money.
Yeah, you said that. You said
Oh, they beat the shit out of me.
Oh, what else I did to make money?
Whatever.
What'd you say, Vlad? Oh, see, you. See,
had daddy money.
So you don't understand. He was in the boys' choir.
Don't do that. Don't bring up no ocean.
Niggas be clowning. Hey, he said, no, somebody said something that caught me though. Let's see. Cross colors. Yeah, Carl Kanai and Fubu. Like it tripped me out. Like how everybody, what's that brand everybody wearing now? But back in the day, it like really wasn't shit. My son always want me to get him them T-shirts. I keep on forgetting what it is. Oh, Champion and shit like that, bro. We didn't even wear that back in the days. Like that was like the weakest stuff. Now it's like Champion popping so hard. Hey, that's it. Now you will. I have seen this. I have seen them with the whole fit on, because you know, like somebody was saying, like, you know, the Africans when they come over here, a lot of times they dress like we did in the 80s. So you know, sometimes you will see them with a FUBU suit on, with some Champions on, some Champion shoes and shit like that. But I'm just saying, I'm gonna stop joking about them, because I don't got no hate for them. I don't got no hate for them. But I ain't lying though. I ain't lying either.
Black Americans, this video is for you.
Okay.
We have to actually talk about this.
Okay.
When somebody is talking about black joy, talking about, you know, black strength, superpower, and all of that, we need to give them some accolades. We need to give those people the spotlight that they deserve, right? This woman broke down so many things that Black Americans have done, and yet nobody is seeing them. Nobody is acknowledging it. Nobody is grateful for it. But instead, you see people coming on here to say,
I don't have no problem with it. But I said, I be seeing a lot of these people like this that be making videos about Black Americans, and they don't even live in America. Like, where are they getting their? I be saying, where is they getting their information from? So my bad. This is where they get it from, the internet.
oh, you guys should be grateful that that you know, you guys were able to come to America. If not,
bro, I'm telling you, you ain't. Look, if you didn't have a pair of XJ9000s back in the day, you probably wasn't from the hood, from the ghetto. You feel me? You wasn't poor. If you didn't have a pair of XJ9000s, because them was the only tennis shoes in Payless that had real rubber on them. You feel me? I used to, you know, Auntie used to make us get all them other ones that was hard, had the hard rubber bottoms. You used to go on the basketball court, be sliding everywhere. You feel me? If you didn't have them, or you didn't have, like, even remember Troops? Remember Troops? Somebody killed Troop Hole Brandon. They killed. I remember I had the baby blue LL Cool J Troops. You feel me? Back in junior high school. Troops was, LA Gear. Yeah, K-Swiss. Don't you know, I've been looking for a pair of the old school K-Swiss for a minute. I got to order me a pair. I have to, because the K-Swiss was the shit. You feel me? Oh, ponies. Yep. LA Gear. LA Gear, even when they started lighting up. You feel me? Reebok back in the day. Yeah, the Reeboks with the pump. Remember they came out with the pump? Then was yeah, the LA Gears with the lights on them. I remember that shit, bro. They was fly though. They was fly. I know a lot of Americans, but Black Americans are another race. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. That's what they was. The XJ900s. Yeah, you had. When you was poor in the hood, you had to have a pair of XJs. We got laughed at wearing them. Don't get us wrong. You feel me? Yeah. Then was the XJs was the best pro wings though. No matter what, nobody say XJ900s was the best pro wings, because they made them look like real sneakers. They made them look like real basketball shoes. If you had your pants pulled down over them, you could fool everybody. But soon as you got to your school desk and you sat down and your pants leg came up, oh, you getting clowned. You was the target. The jersey with Champion on the label. Oh yeah, you getting clowned. You getting gassed. You getting gassed. Yeah, they did. Bro, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, XJ900s was the first shoe inside of Payless that had real rubber on the bottom. All the other shoes, they had that hard plastic. They had that hard plastic. On everything, they had that hard plastic. If you didn't have that real rubber, you just sliding all over the hoop. You go in the gym, you sliding. You go on the blacktop, you cool. But when you go in the gym, oh, you sliding everywhere, all on the court, bro. That shit was crazy. Them was the days, though. Them was the days. Let's see. Oh yeah, Lottos, Elise. Oh my God, bro, you took it all the way back. Lottos, Elise. Yeah, Elise, when Elise started popping, we couldn't afford those. We could see them though. You feel me? All like the big cousins had them. We didn't though. As kids, we didn't have them shoes right there. Flooding tight pants. Oh yeah. We. That's why I told them that's why we used to sag our pants, because our pants would get old and they wouldn't touch the bottom, so you'll get talked about you flooding your pants coming to school. So we used to wear the long shirts and we used to pull our pants down to where they touch our shoes, so people didn't notice the pants was too short. Hey, oh man, hey, no, okay, all right, okay, I'm about to kill y'all with this one. And a lot of y'all gonna act like you didn't do it. I'm gonna tell you right now. A lot of y'all gonna act, oh, at that time I didn't do that. They use a damn lie, because everybody did it. Remember when Hammer came out with the when Hammer came out with the video with the biker suit on, the biker top with the biker pants? You feel me? The tight shit. You feel me? The spandex. They either had the green line going down the side, both sides, or had the pink. And it had the red, because the girls used to get the pink. We used to get the red. Hey, I think about that shit now. I say MC Hammer had us wearing them tight-ass clothes. They didn't have no pockets on them or nothing. You walking around in a biker suit with no pockets or nothing. You feel me? You got to have a backpack or something else. You couldn't even... you didn't even have nowhere to put your money. Hey, I went to the school dance with one of them on. I had the red one. I went to the school dance with one of those on. I look at it now and I go, what the hell MC Hammer was doing to us, man? Then I seen the video when he signed with Death Row and he was in the swimming pool. He was in the jacuzzi with them Speedos on. I said, see, they got us. They always getting us, right? And back in them days, if you didn't have that right there, if you didn't have them tights right there, that biker suit is what we called it, you wasn't in the game. Everybody had them. Everybody was wearing that shit to school like it was a thing to do. That shit, you didn't even have nowhere to put your money on. They didn't even put pockets on them or none of that. We was still sporting that shit to school, man, like it was the shit to do, for real. Hey, flip collars. I think it's out of pocket right now. Right now, if I see them see Hammer, I'm telling you, bro, you wrong for that. Back in the days, you wrong for that. You had us kids walking around with biker suits on and shit. Like, hey, and then you always run into that. Look, tell the truth. You always see that one little kid who parents bought him one, and it's too big, so it didn't even fit tight. You feel me? It was hella loose. It was hella loose on him and shit. We talked about them because it was like, bro, your biker suit, you need to wash that shit about 10 times and then put it back on, because that shit don't even fit. It's too big. You feel me? You probably took it out of his uncle closet or something, his big brother closet. But MC Hammer was wrong for that shit, man. People had moving, stand still. Yeah. But then I ain't gonna lie, it was the best time though. Like that's what the Speedos. Oh my! I ain't gonna never tell y'all no shit no more again, because that shit is funny when I think about it. I'm glad I didn't take no pictures in that suit ever. I know one of my family members got the picture of me going to that high school dance with that biker suit on. Hey, I said biker suits are dope. Yeah, for women. Not for us. I wouldn't wear no Speedos nowadays. Not today. Hey, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need therapy for jokes, but we joke about ourselves all the time. Like, I don't care. All the time. I always joke about myself. What's that? I don't know. When I'm done. Give me a minute. Hey, we joke about ourselves. I joke about myself all the time. You feel me? It's just part of the game. But I'm saying, like, it's wild because we be needing to laugh. It be so much shit going on, bruh. Oh yeah, the jelly shoes. Yeah, who did that? Yeah, who did that? Whoever did that need their ass whooped too. Cause whoever came out with them jelly shoes, oh my God. We was sporting those with the bikers fucking shit. Like like jellies. Like who came out with jellies? Man, what the fuck? Man, he said that's an automatic DP, huh? You come to the hood right now with a biker fit on, with the green going down the side or the red. No, if you gangbang, you gonna have the blue stripe on each side, and you gonna have the red. Hey, I can see Whack 100 with one on. No, I'm just playing. Let me stop. Oh, yeah, the parachute pants. Hey, the parachute pants, yeah. And they be talking about we ain't got no culture, bro. Man, our culture is dope as fuck. That's the problem. That's the problem about it. Our culture is dope, funny, and everything all at the same time. You feel me? Oh, hell no. No, he did not. Now, when I moved to Compton, this when I seen the pom-pom socks. You feel me? With the Nike Cortez. That blew my mind. Like, oh, once I seen that, oh, it was over. It was over. You feel me? Depending on what clothes you had, your pom-pom socks, you had green or blue, you feel me? Like if you had on green or blue, your pom-pom socks was bam. The pom-poms hanging out was green and blue. You feel me? You go to the swap meet and get those all the time, bro. Every color. Nigga had every color of them motherfuckers. Damn, hey, what the fuck, bro? Oh. Oh, no. Hey, yeah, yep. The Chinese slippers, the Bruce Lee flaps. Everybody had a pair of them too, bro. Everybody had a. Oh, man, didn't you just say you had to just bring up the Gumby? Look, I remember I cut my own Gumby, right? I wanted the Gumby so bad. Where was we living at? I think we was living in San Bernardino. And I cut my Gumby. It was fucked up, but it was cool though. Like for me doing it myself, it was cool. My uncle had to come and he looked at my hair. He said, "Man, who did that to your head?" And he had to do it for me. He had to cut it for me. But that was like, damn, that's crazy. Because back in the days, even like all them fresh hairstyles, we used to practice on each other and cut each other hair all the time, bro. Like from when we was young, after we got like 10, 11, and 12, we used to cut our own shit. Man, did you just say, wait, hold on, man. Oh, the cartoon socks? Yeah. Dope man's Cortez. Oh, yeah, man. And then I'm surprised didn't nobody say the dope dealer boots, because that's what we called them. You feel me? We like the Timbs and shit back in the days, we called them dope dealer boots. That's what, when you was out there slanging, you used to have your dope dealer boots on. You feel me? Yeah, Bobby Brown. I don't know who started. No, before Bobby Brown even had the Gumby. I think it was like Kwame had like the little, remember we used to dye our shit and had a little dye? Like that's what tripped me out about kids cutting their eyebrows, putting the lines in their eyebrows. We was doing all that shit way back when. It's like everything came around 360. Now you see the kids with the lines in their eyebrows and shit, putting a little dye in their hair. We was doing that shit way back in the days. Way back in the days. Yeah, the Looney Tune jerseys. We was doing, oh my God, the dookie chains, the ropes, the donkey ropes, as we used to call them. Hey, dookie chains and donkey ropes, you feel me? You had that, your shit be like hella fat. Like, it was fake, but you know what though? This was cold. Back in them days, You can get a real ass donkey rope. You feel me? You can get a real one, and that shit be hella hollow. Remember, they used to be hella light. Be like that fat, like that thick around, but be light in the motherfucker. You feel me? Hollow and shit. That's when they wasn't even really making fake chains like that. Yeah, Big Daddy Kane, Kwame, wait, you know who was dope to me? Pro Righteous Teachers, bro. That Holy Intellect was used to slap so hard. Let's see, my brother, Lil Joe P did my step box. Oh dang, yeah, R.I.P. Joe, Lil Joe. Dang, that's crazy. Let's see, Coca-Cola sweaters and yeah, man. We go on for days. They talking about we don't got no culture. Your Mr. T look, swap meet jewelry. Remember we used to go to the swap meet and take them pictures? Everybody took them pictures with that background that looked like this. And you be on the picture with your girl and shit like posing and shit. You got like 3 different poses. Got a stack of pictures about that big. Everybody used to hit that photo place up at the swap meet. If you had a swap meet in your town, you feel me? It just, and we can go on and on. We can go. I'm telling you, this shit will never. Gazelles. Oh man. Oh my God. Man, cookie braids, gazelles. You feel me with the gazelles were stunners, bro. You feel me with the gold around them? You feel me? The gold fucking sunglasses. But they was real light. They wasn't too dark. You feel me? They was just right. These was the days. These was like, well, still right today, bro. Like, and they try to, the glossy pics. Yeah, exactly. Double belts with some outfits. I'm telling you, bro. Ain't talking about we ain't got no culture, bro. We started all this shit. We started, the big rope necklace. That's what we used to call them donkey ropes and shit. Hey, but they talking about we ain't got no culture. They got us way confused because everything we did, man, everything we lived, I see why they don't understand it. They was just, body glove. They was just taking advantage of it, and they was walking in the footsteps of it, doing it with us. You feel me? They was doing it with us, and then trying to say we ain't got no culture. That shit is hella funny. We'd be here all day, man. Beehive hairstyles with the pin curls. You feel me? Dummy beads. Like, you feel me? Like girls with the beads, with the, man. We'd be here forever. But I can't be here forever. Yeah, dookie braids. I think that was the best era when the dookie braids came out. When the females was rocking the dookie braids, bell bottoms were, hey, they starting to wear bell bottoms right today. Right today. They bringing bell bottoms back. Suits were made from windbreaker material like, oh yeah, the Nike sweatsuits. Like the velour Nike sweatsuits, they had so many different kind of Nike sweatsuits we was sporting, bro. We was killing with even when they start coming with the Laker ones and shit like that. Remember bomber jackets? You feel me? We had bomber jackets back in the days. Like your team, it didn't matter if it was college, if it was football, if it was basketball. You had the fat bomber jacket, the Georgetown bomber, hella thick jacket. And then one day it was raining and we watching the football game and we see one of the coaches or the players come out and remember they had the long trench coat fucking bombers. That was trench coats. Everybody started getting them. We said, oh shit, you feel me? It wasn't a bomber that just came to the waist. That shit came all the way down to your ankles then. Now we sporting those. Like, man, we made everything. We made everything what it is today. That's fucking cold as shit. That's cold. Oh, somebody said the finger waves. Somebody said the finger waves. Exactly. We still run the finger waves. Do you still see our old school uncles and our old school aunties be still doing the finger waves today? The Adidas tracksuits. A lot of that stuff, they haven't changed. The Adidas tracksuits and shit, they haven't changed. People still doing it today because we used to rock those when we was breakdancing and shit. And now you look at breakdancers, what they be wearing. That shit right there. You feel me? Dressing just like we did when we was breakdancing back in the 80s and shit. Like, this shit is crazy, but I gotta go. I have to go. The big rope necklace. Yeah, that's what we was talking about. Yeah, the leather jackets. You feel me? Yeah, still got the 3 Adidas tracksuits. You still got them from way back in the days, huh? He said, I want a feeler one. You probably can find one. Get them feelers with the Jerry Stackhouse. You feel me? Like, was the days, bro. Them was the days. You see how much that shit bring happiness just thinking about it. Cause it was so fun. It's just happiness. Hey, yeah, they tried to keep us. We ain't never. I'm gonna tell you, we ain't never followed nobody's shit. We never did, bro. We always created and made our own lane, and no matter what we did, and that's the beautiful thing about it. Cause once we talk about it and we see it, we see that history. Look at the smiles it put on our face, cause we know what we did. They didn't live it. They wasn't there. Some of them was, but no, they wasn't there. We lived that shit. And that's the dope thing about it. So, I love it. Oh, the Kango hats. Man, I remember my cousin. Look, I right today, I'll be on my big cousin because I went to LL Cool J concert when he dropped down in the radio, when he first came out with the song Too Hard for the Radio. That's thinking of Mac Dre because I went to Mac Dre concert too before. But I went to LL Cool J concert when he dropped down in the radio and shit. But when LL Cool J was popping with the Kangos, when everybody was wearing the Kangos, my cousin had one of them old Gilligan hats, the ones that flip up like that. But if you pull them down, it looked like a Kango. And like when he came home with it on, like we was going, ooh, we like 10 years old. We like, oh shit, cousin got the Kango. Hey, he took it in his room. He took it off real gently and put it on this little head thing that he had. And he said, man, don't touch my hat. But we used to just go in the room and just look at it and be like, ooh, a real Kango. That shit wasn't even real. I think about it today. I'll be like, cousin, you had a straight fool. That's how come you never wore that shit again. You just let it sit there. You feel me? You could have gave it to one of us. We would have thought we was the shit with that fake Kango. I ain't gonna hold you. The Michael Jackson jacket. We all had one of them. Everybody had a Michael Jackson jacket with all the zippers on it. If you didn't have one of them, you wasn't hip. You wasn't hip. He said, but who's they? Starters Day. So many cats got robbed for those. Yeah, a lot of people got robbed for starter jackets. Exactly. It's Walmart's and nuts. Yeah, R.I.P. Mac Dre. I saw Cutthroat Committee and the Click in the same show. Yeah, I would like when I was doing music back in the days. We were supposed to perform at Southern Arena in Fresno, and we were supposed to go on before Keek the Sneak and E40 and them. But they took us off the little thing, and we was able to chill on stage and chill with them, like with Keek and them. You feel me? That shit was hella fun. Hella fun. That shit was hella fun. They'll be having the flies music, but I do gotta go. Let me go and go because I keep talking because we can go on forever and ever. MJ, beats and thrillers. Yeah, I'm telling you, we go on forever and ever, bro. We got a beautiful culture. And that's the thing that this the thing that we're trying to protect. This the thing that we're trying to keep ours because it's ours. And if they don't see it, fuck them. They don't need to see it. You see how it make us feel? You see how it make us feel just to talk about it? That shit had your whole heart fired up because you lived it. You lived it. So it's like we don't got to keep on, fuck them. Fuck them, bro. You feel me? We lived that shit. We was there. We seen it. We watched it all evolve. But they're trying to make it theirs, I think, at times. I think they be trying to make that shit theirs. And that's what it is. But I'm a holla. I'll probably be back later. Most likely. It depends on what happens because we supposed to do some beat shit and some more stuff today. So I don't know. But I thank y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button on the way out. And I'm glad that we can watch these videos. Even if some of them be offensive or they get us kind of angry. If you notice at the end of the video, we just be laughing and kind of chopping it up about us. Forget this how we always been. We ain't never really tripped off them. It's just we're looking at it and we're going, oh, I see what you're doing. but it ain't gonna stop our happiness. You feel me? And I'm glad at the end of the video we at least have fun and we start laughing to let it be known like we not hating on nobody. We don't even care about nothing y'all doing. We just trying to protect this thing right here that is ours that y'all say we don't have. So since we don't have it, why are you worried about us trying to protect anything that we don't have? I'm just saying. But on that note, y'all have a blessed day. And I'll see y'all later. Peace out. Hype up the video if you can, but peace out. Y'all have a good one.